Hi everyone, this is Bobby from bn-games.com, and we're here doing another classic capture. Today we're doing Jedi Knight Jedi Academy for the PC and Mac, although this is the PC version you're watching now.
Note, this is a Star Wars game.
Star Wars, yes. This game came out in 2003 and is my second, and probably, well, I don't know about you, Timmy. Full Throttle would be my first.
This would probably be my first favorite PC game of all time.
Okay. It would be my second because Full Throttle is just above it.
Yeah, see, Full Throttle would be second for me. It's just because I spent a lot more time on this game.
Yeah, Jedi Academy is a sequel to Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast, which takes place after Episode 6 in the Star Wars universe. You play as Kyle Katarn in that one, and this one you're Kyle Katarn's apprentice. And this is one of the very first games that you had, one of the very first games I remember playing that had
character customization.
Yeah, character customization. It was,
at least to this level.
It's kind of rudimentary because you only have a couple options. You only got like 4 pant legs and 3 heads. You could have a choice of a number of
what if I only want
ugly
one
ass
head?
Lightsabers
and blade colors. You only get the pants that are provided to you, sir.
Well, they're not styling enough. I need something with a little bit more glitter and a little bit more leather.
Unfortunately, at this time, the galactic market was not there.
That's true. I skipped part of the intro.
Because it was boring.
It's not worth really talking about. Right here, you have Luke, who is the Jedi Master of the Jedi.
Don't you mean the Joker?
The Joker, yeah, he could be Joker. Although no, this one's not Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill didn't voice this.
No,
he sounds pretty close though.
Yeah,
I don't want
it
it
is
to.
very close.
He started a Jedi temple, just like Yoda wanted. You know, because Yoda wanted him to pass on the skills.
He just float there?
Yes, kinda.
He just like he's like sliding. Slide.
That sort of happens.
Yeah, well, look, he rented out this old abandoned factory and
Or slide.
yeah.
So I haven't played the single player game since I completed it when it came out, approximately. So let's say about 2003,
To be honest,
2004.
I actually never got past the first level.
Oh, I've
seen the intro in that. I just spent all my time online.
Well, we'll get to that because that's the second half of this video. It's an interesting story, and by the end you have the choice of becoming a Jedi or a Sith. I always went with a Sith, and there's a little bit involved. You go to locales that are famous and stuff that's only been mentioned in the movies verbally and stuff that's been written about. And you work for Kyle, and that guy Rosh right there, he's an asshole.
Yeah,
he's your rival.
I always like that in all the Star Wars games, the rival is always some asshole you just want to kill in the first 3 seconds.
And not to mention that he's like he's obviously going to turn at some point. And I skipped a little further ahead. We're in the training area, so you get a little bit of a look of how the single player looks and plays versus the multiplayer, because they are very different. And this right here is unmodded. This is a pure install. And
you're running this off Steam, aren't you?
Yes, I'm running this off Steam, and I killed Rosh because I hate him.
It's like, I'm just gonna do what I do halfway through the game right now.
Spoiler alert, it's been out for about a decade. You kill Rush at some point. Or no, you don't have to.
I gotta say right here, that was one of my favorite the saber effects, like when you stab something, or you could actually run that along the wall and it actually just does a blade line.
Yeah, burn marks and stuff.
Yeah, and for the most part, a lot of them will stay there for quite a while.
Kyle is very, very forgiving. Just die!
Stop it, guy. You're just using the Force for fun.
Stop it, Jaden.
Okay, so this is my favorite part. All right, so he's attacking me, and he kills. He kills Rush. And I don't know why it just stops at this point. You've turned on your friends.
I like how you kill him. It's mission over. He kills him.
He just cover up, he'll bury him.
Yeah.
And just continuing to try to break the game in ways.
When you're ready, Jaden.
And by the way, I'm not jumping on top of his head. I just jumped on his head, and he's automatically bouncing on his own. I'm just trying to keep on top of him. So yeah, it plays and feels differently than the multiplayer. It is a It still holds up okay. This was actually based off the Quake 3 engine.
This course will familiarize you with
the
your
entire
core force
the
abilities.
way it kind of controls
These are
and stuff.
powers that every force
And
user
kind of
has.
another thing you can kind of put
As you
towards a little
progress in
more
your
modern
training,
is
you
this
will
is
learn
kind of a
new
predecessor
abilities.
to the Force
Both the
Unleashed.
light and dark
Yeah.
sides will be
And
Because
that-
of the way the Force powers
Remember,
work, how it's supposed
abilities
to
are
really
not
show
inherently good or
how
evil.
destructive it can be.
It's how
Like a
you
lot of
use
parts
them.
in the game, there
Every
where you just
Jedi
like
is
force
naturally
push
stronger
walls
in
and will
different areas
just
of the
blow up.
Force.
Well, we should also say that the origin of this game was actually Dark Forces,
Yeah, yeah.
which is a PC, well, it was technically a DOS game, shooter.
It did release on other systems.
And then,
so.
and then you had, I can't remember the name of the other one,
Well,
where you
there's
played
Dark-
as Kyle.
there were Jedi Outcast,
No, before that. There was one before that where
Dark Forces 2.
Dark Forces 2, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because it's Dark Forces 2, then it's Jedi Outcast, and then Jedi Academy.
So, as a PC game, you would think swinging a lightsaber is kind of difficult, and I will admit it takes a little getting used to. It has a combination system that's really deep, depending on which angle you're, basically moving with
Nice
the
work,
WASD. Will determine, what kind of swing. So it'll be a cut if you're pressing E and W, left, and there'll be a cut to the right if you press W and D, and then hit the attack button, which is, left mouse button. That's
did
kind
well
of what I'm doing
too,
right
Jaden.
there.
Your lightsaber is an invaluable tool.
It takes some
Even
getting
when
used to.
inactive, it can
There's
diffuse a
no way
potentially
to get around that. But
situation.
once you get used to it, you find it's a deep system.
As you train, you'll learn
and
additional fighting styles.
you'll learn to
Changing
flow with it.
styles
Yeah,
during
and
combat
then
can
again, I mean,
surprise
it
your
gets
opponent,
deep, and
allowing
then
you
later
to gain
on,
the upper
also,
hand.
unless you just skip straight to the
From here on
multiplayer,
out, we'll talk
it
via
goes
comlink
even
in each
further
area.
with either staff
Let's move
saber
on.
or using 2 lightsabers.
Yeah, the Jedi Outcast, you only, when you played as Kyle and in the multiplayer, unless you had a mod, you only used a single saber. After Star Wars Episode 1 came out, staff was all the craze, and double lightsaber.
Only good thing to come out of that.
No, that's bullshit. That's not
see,
even
right
that-
here.
Force push.
Yeah, and actually, as you level up,
Hey,
it
Jaden,
just gets more
this should keep you
destructive.
busy till I finish the course.
Hey, look at this asshole right here already making obstacles for me. This guy was easy. Oh, I like how he killed him. It was like I was like, oh, this is pretty good. Slow motion Matrix. There was a lot of that when you kill the final guy in an area if you're like fighting multiple.
Yeah, this
I like
did
that.
come out around the time of the second Matrix movie, didn't it?
Yeah, approximately.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So it was an effect, and they used it
was
well.
nothing.
It was tastefully used. Just kind of, especially if you had at the time, if you had the video card to support this thing on the highest, setting.
I never had any
it-
luck with it.
It was like, man, that was eye candy.
I got a bad history with that.
So, would you want to play the single player today? I guess. I personally, if you're gonna play Jedi Academy, you're gonna play it for the multiplayer. But as a single player experience, it still holds up okay. If you are coming from the multiplayer to the single player, not so much because you have to get used to the controls, and it's
All the limitations.
yeah, definitely limitations. And you have force powers here, which in multiplayer you don't see a lot of. We'll get into that when we get there. It's got
saber throw.
all of the puzzles are force based for the most part. You use like right here, I'm using force pull to pull these stones out, which you would think, man, this place is structurally, not well made. No, not sound. Building inspector's gonna come shut down this temple. But yeah, and the voice acting and the acting's okay.
Well, but they can't shut it down. It's a landmark. It's too old.
Other than blow it up, implode. Yeah, whatever.
Tricky.
So, man, I don't really. There's not much more to say about it. It's a decent from single player experience. The one thing I should mention is if you have any mods for the multiplayer, it will break the single player game. Most mods that were created share assets with the multiplayer, and if you have anything that pulls any of those textures or something like that, you'll end up getting like white walls or white floor, or sometimes things just don't. Things just break completely. So when playing the single player game, you really want to just play it vanilla, and then if you're going to play the multiplayer, that's when you can apply your mods. This has always been a problem, and it was never fixed. Most people who finished a single player game pretty much never went back to it, so it wasn't that big an issue. But it did become kind of problematic if you did. This right here is on the Steam version, I should mention, also, which is same as the disc version. Unfortunately, my discs are so old, and I've installed it so many times, and they're so scratched that they were kind of useless. I couldn't really couldn't do anything with them, so I bought it on Steam. It goes for about $10 on Steam, and there was a Mac version for this, although the Steam hasn't released that. And funny enough, after I did this video, they released the Mac client for Jedi Outcast on Steam.
Yeah, I remember you actually got that.
I can't believe I mean, I wasn't trying. Save it, Rosh.
Man, this is where he can be. He's like,
angry, but believe me,
I didn't mean it. Bullshit, you didn't mean it, motherfucker.
I understand, Master.
I like how in Jedi Outcast, Kyle was supposed to be some guy who gave up being a Jedi, and now in this one he's all,
He's super
I'm
ass
a powerful
powerful.
Jedi now.
And now he's a nice guy and stuff. Although I don't remember what happens to his chick.
Although I
remember.
gotta say, he always looked so weak for being a Jedi.
Well, he's supposed to be like a cowboy.
And then also he reminds me of the Jedi that we're chasing in Old Republic.
So now we're playing the multiplayer part.
Spent years playing this.
Yes, and
I don't know. To me, it still holds up. I still have as much fun playing it as I used to. I mean, I have no.
Hey, look, it's Quake 3.
The only thing I don't like is that on most servers they take away all the force powers, and if they do have force powers, they always take away saber throw.
well, Timmy needs to understand that gets spammed.
No, I understand. I understand fully.
Okay, so let me put it this way. So right here, you're seeing it fully modded. Right now, I have a bunch of mods that we've been using for years.
Custom skins, builds.
You can find a lot of these, most of these, on jk3files.com, which is associated with FileFront. That was the biggest place. And this right here is using the JA mod 2.3. As you can see, it gives you the ability to change your blade colors, which you couldn't do in vanilla.
Yeah, complete custom color. You can also change the blade focus so it looks like lightning.
And then you have custom mods, as you can see, custom skins. So you have a number of them. There were some limitations on how many you could have. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you have to get around.
Certain ones would conflict with each other because they use the same base and asset.
As Timmy was saying, most servers will shut off force powers just for the simple fact that most servers have a innate rule set, as you have probably been seeing here.
Yeah.
You know, the word laming, if you don't know what that means, you never played this game. Laming in the terms, right here I'm doing the console command for name. Laming in this game's terms by server admins is killing other people when they have their lightsaber off, or that sort of thing.
Kind of like what he just did there.
No, hey, they had their lightsaber up. That was FFA. There's a social aspect to this game that has been strong since Outcast. This is very much Outcast's.
The remnants.
Remnants, yeah. All the rule sets for people who played Outcast, they were all community rules, community guidelines that were created to make the game fun and a social environment, because that's really what it is. It's definitely a social environment. Yeah, here you see me dueling.
Because this was also one of the first games to kind of it wasn't integrated into the game, but this game has so many people that started their own clans and personal servers where, I mean, it's just really tight-knit. I mean,
we had one. We had a 50-man clan at one point, and we had someone who was building a map for us. But
we actually had our own weapon pack.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of stuff going. I played a lot of this through the end of high school and early college. That's probably like the most I played this.
I actually remember first when I would get out of school, we'd take the bus down to Sinat before they moved right behind the house.
Yeah, that's actually, I think that was the first place we played Outcast. In fact,
yeah, because then Jedi Academy came out. Because we used to play it there because we couldn't hook up 3 computers. Remember, because it was you, me, and Mike.
Yeah, well, I think the worst part was I remember playing this game on 56K.
Yeah.
And pings were like 300 to 400 range, and I keep hitting Shift Tab. It's just I'm used to walking around. I have a very specific style. I like walking around. When you play on multiplayer, especially a lot of newbies, they get off-put by someone who walks around just holding the saber. And not only that, it actually hides what stance you're in. You'll notice on the right-hand side you see a red little line that indicates I'm in heavy stance, which is pretty much the primary stance I use.
Yeah,
I personally believe it requires the most skill.
Yeah, because there are two other standard stances, which is blue and yellow.
Yep.
Well, blue is basically useless unless you just want to flail around.
Yeah.
There were I'm not sure what mod. I'm pretty sure they probably don't even exist anymore. There was a purple and
Yeah, they had a JA mod that did that, and they had custom animations for attacks, but the server had to support it.
yeah.
The other thing to mention, and this has always been the case. And if you're playing this and you still play Jedi or you disagree, I don't really care. Staff and dual saber are broken. They always have been. Staff less so than dual saber. Not only does staff and dual saber do more damage when attacking, their damage values, they're broken from hit detection perspective. So, and from that mindset, they require a lot less skill to use. Like I said, staff would be the middle.
Yeah, like me, I like staff. I'll agree. It takes a little less skill.
Oh, it takes a lot less skill than me.
No, there is a skill set to using it, because there are a lot of times like there where you get paralyzed into, you're just sitting. But
it doesn't balance with the damage values and the hit detection issues that were never patched.
Yeah, but I still think it. There is, if you can do it well. I mean, there is if you can learn it, there is a skill set to using staff. Two saber, yeah, that's just overpowered and
like that guy right there, who's
Yeah,
flaying around like a ballerina.
yeah, two saber I would always agree was overpowered, and there I would agree, but staff, not so much. I mean, I'd still agree it wasn't as balanced as the single, but I still think it is.
Single required timing and it required execution.
No, I know that, but staff required to be able to have a nice flow.
No, I completely disagree with you.
Well, we agree to disagree.
Well, at least we can at least we both agree that dual saber was completely broken, and anyone who uses it pretty much doesn't have any idea how to play the game.
Well,
it comes down to.
Yeah, and going by history, usually people using two saber were always the noobs that were just trying to lame everyone, and we ended up having fun with them after, especially with server commands.
Yeah.
Admin control.
If you were in our clan, if you used staff or duels as your primary, you pretty much never made it up the ladder. You needed to know how to use red stance in
Star
single.
Wars, separating friends. It came out.
Except for me, because I was the one who always used staff, so I was kind of the master at that.
And the mod that we're using here, that the server's running 2.3, actually tries to make the game run more like Outcast. This is the last duel of the video. Primarily because vanilla online, which you pretty much don't find a server for anymore at all, played a lot like the single player, and it angered a lot of fans, so that's why these mods came about, to make it play a lot more like Outcast, but even with those mods, it didn't fix a lot of the inherent issues.
Yeah, but also to give a little more control.
Well, everyone, this was Jedi Academy
JK3
for the PC. It's about $10 on Steam, which is probably the best platform to buy it on. All the mods can be found at jk3files.com. You'll find me playing it. If you have Steam, you can add me. Just put your Steam ID at the bottom if you have the game, or if you play on a regular server.
Possible server coming soon.
Yeah, possible servers coming soon.
Or we buy it on eBay.
Please subscribe and that's what you think.
Get it, play it, revive the community.
Thank you.
JK4, 5.
4.